Where do you rank amongst these four positions? Because I thought maybe, you'll slot yourself in there, or you a little bit more quiet,
I know my
more
place.
reserved.
I'm more relaxed. If guys need cakes for the birthdays,
Okay.
I'll let your boy.
I can't do no small talk, no small talk. I'm not with the small talk. Can't be with the small talk.
What's happening, Five Nation? Welcome to yet another unscripted episode with myself, Aaron Masemola, and trust me, this one is a special one. We've got a man in studio who's one of the best front rowers in the world. He's a man who doesn't like a salad, and he's also a man who recently won a Rugby World Cup. His name is Ox Nche. Ox, my brother, how you doing?
I'm well, my man. How are you doing?
I'm doing very, very well. We have to get the rumors out the way. Do you actually eat salads, or is it it's a lie?
I don't eat salads, like I said.
At all?
Yeah, at all. Like the only salads I have is in a burger. Yeah, but besides that, nah, I don't. I actually don't enjoy.
Is that something that England found out in the Rugby World Cup semi-finals? I have to take you back there.
I just work here.
Oh, you just work
no
here.
comments.
So in terms of the Rugby World Cup, I just want to start the journey there. You know, that's where I think for a lot of South Africans, we knew the name. We'd been following your career from the Cheetahs, but that semi-final against England and that big moment where you handled that scrum was a moment where many South Africans were like, damn, that brother is most certainly one of the best in the world when it comes to that front line. In your head, when you went into the scrum, what were you thinking?
I mean, at that point of the game, we were behind and England was leading. Pressure scrum is there, but we quickly just knocked it just inside our 22. So obviously, like, pressure.
Big moments.
Big moments. So I was like, I know this guy, I've analyzed him. He's played deep in the game, like it's in the second half and he's still on. He started the game. I was like, you know what? I know him. I got a plan for him. And luckily for me, it worked out. Like I just let him do his thing and then I just counter-attacked and it worked out.
And the rest is history.
And then we got the penalty and then, that's where I think the momentum started changing for the team. And
let's talk about big moments. I think that was the biggest moment for you personally at the 2023 Rugby World Cup. But in terms of the other games, I mean, the game against Ireland, the game against France, the game against England, and then that final against New Zealand. Which moment or which game would you say was the biggest moment for Ox?
Yeah.
Because there were quite a few.
I'd say probably like obviously the England one. And knowing like it's like, okay, we just won a scrum penalty on the 50 and we have Andrew Pollard the Iceman. And I was like, okay, you know what? Now we can't. There's no way the momentum has changed. From here we have to finish. And to be honest, I think my second base was probably like the last scrum against the All Blacks. It's like it's all or nothing, but then Achia just dislocated his shoulder. Dion's ribs are gone. So we just like, we're pretty much coming with 6 guys. Well, 6 guys. And we're like, these guys are actually coming with everything they have. So it's like, it's just one of those where you're like, you have to.
This counts.
Bro,
this is the moment.
This is it. Like, if they get a penalty, they kick it over. We've lost the World Cup final. So I was just like, you know what? Hang in there, stick it out, boys. And let's just pull this one through. And
And you went back to back.
Yeah.
At the Rugby World Cup.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about that feeling. Because it's one thing to win one Rugby World Cup in 2019, but I think the big question heading into Paris 2023 was, can the Springboks do it again? And I'm sure you saw the videos. I mean, Five Nations saw the videos. Like, South Africans were crying from the quarterfinals because it was so nerve-wracking. It was like 1 point. And then in that final, our nerves were finished. And we were like, is this possible? But for you as a player, how did you handle that pressure? What were you guys thinking? I mean, you're looking at the scoreboard. You can see it's 1 point after 3 matches. Was there maybe an element of doubt? Maybe our luck has ran out? Or is it just that Springbok belief to say, we've got this?
No, I think we're most of us were just calm. Group stages, we said, boys, we have to win. We had obviously specific targets, and then from the quarterfinal, like I remember, everyone kept on saying, like even after the games, ons moet net win.
Ons moet net wen.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether it's half a point.
Yeah.
We just have to win. And I think for us, that was our mindset. It's like, boys, we can play the worst game of rugby. But we just have to win. And that was the mindset. I think we said it so often amongst ourselves that I think that's probably why the games ended up like being won by just a point, because boys, we just have to win. Yeah.
By any means
But
necessary.
it doesn't matter what you do. You can have the worst game of your life. We just have to win.
Talking about that winning philosophy, as you mentioned now, just that ability for you to tap into that mindset of ons moet dit wen. Talk to me about Rassie, because it seems that when Rassie joined the SA Rugby setup, he brought in a winning culture. I mean, many South Africans would so often talk about the fact that he says that pressure is dealing with life as a South African, going to work, having to feed your kids, going through so much, but just the ability to win at the end of the day, and the culture that he has brought into the Springbok squad, winning in 2019, then winning again in 2023. How did that impact you as a player? Because sometimes you do have to tap into that winning mindset.
I mean, he always, like, I think for us, he may South Africa be relevant in a sense that, I mean, he said, sure, you're doing what you love, you're getting paid for it, you're in front of millions of people, and you think that's pressure. But there's a single mom somewhere in Khayelitsha or in South Africa that has to wake up at 4 o'clock, still take care of their kids, wake up at 4 o'clock, make sure they're fully dressed, start taking them to school, stuff, has to go to work, make men into ends meet. You don't even know how far she's traveling for minimum wage. And that is pressure. And being able to be a mother to those kids, and eventually those kids become doctors, or they end up just pursuing their dreams and completing them, that's pressure. What we're experiencing shouldn't be pressure. And I think he made it very relatable to, even if you grew up in a privileged South African home, the fact is that you're South African, and you've been, like, South Africa in general just goes through worst struggles in a lot of countries. So, I mean, we're a third world country competing against first world countries. Yeah. And I think the importance of actually being South African, that's what he makes us realize every single day, is that these people actually care about you. There's load shedding, they probably don't even have food for tomorrow, even next week. But when you play, you actually, that 80 minutes, that day, you bring joy into their hearts, and you actually give them the hope to show them that, you know what, I'm here now, but I don't have to be in the same sport, or my kids don't have to be in the same sport forever.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Because it gives a great sense of hope. I think the one thing that I've realized as a sports broadcaster is there's just a special vibe on the day when the Springboks are playing, because even when things don't go well, like recently against Argentina, everybody believes that the Springboks will overcome, and the next game the Springboks will win, and that speaks to the nation that we are, a nation that continues to win. But we've spoken about you winning a Rugby World Cup. Let's take it back to the Free State, what I call almost a rugby factory for South Africa, a province that's sometimes forgotten when you look at the big concerts that are hosted, when you look at the big events. The Free State is always like last on the list. But that's the province where you come from. That's where your journey started with the Cheetahs. Take me back to the moment when you fell in love with rugby and you made your way to the Cheetahs.
I think for me, like, I've always been like an academic, really. I was like, I knew, like, after study, get through school, pass well. And, like I've said, like, I've wanted to become an engineer. And then, so in high school, that's when I actually started getting, like, having a passion and love for rugby. And even then, I still knew what I needed to do was that, you know what, make it so I love rugby, it's a passion, but and I'll probably play it so for the fun of it, but the end goal is to become an engineer. Got to varsity, got a rugby bursary, but still I was like, you know what, bro, you still know what to do. Use this actually. And I guess when I got to Foster, that's when it's just clicked. Like, dude, you put in hard work. You can actually make a life out of this. And that's when I actually like started being at a priority as well. I was like, you know what, it's on the same level as my schoolwork now. I have to put in as much work as I put into my schoolwork. And that's when, it just clicked for me.
And your parents, how supportive were they in the journey? Because I know that sometimes with parents, either they want you to focus on the books or they want you to focus on the sports. Were they supportive of both?
Yeah, they were. Like my mom, like she always used to say, "Hey, Skalebala, utletse dibuka," and then simply translate like, "Don't forget, you didn't come here. You actually came here to study." So it's like, yeah, I know. Like, then and did you pass? Yeah, I did pass. Yeah, my results. Like, okay, sharp.
Nice.
It's fine. Great. You're doing great on the rugby because I got a cheater's contract pretty early. But she was like, okay, great to know. But did you pass? And for me, it was like, that's like, okay, you know what? My job is to focus on the rugby. That's where, and obviously she'd come to the games and all of that. But she also wants me to do that because she knows, she always said to me, like, you never know what might happen. A guy gets an injury, then what then? So she always wanted just wanted the best for me, and I guess best of both worlds. And whatever I decide to do in the end, at least I'll be able to give myself the opportunity to do it.
How proud is she? I mean, watching her son win a Rugby World Cup is something special.
Yeah, absolutely.
From keeping him accountable in terms of studying and playing rugby, and for her son to be one of the best front rowers in the world. How does she feel?
Yeah, she to me, first of all, I'm her son. She doesn't she doesn't come on. She's 100% proud of me. She watches my games. She'll if even after a game she'll say, "Hey, how do you feel? Do you feel like you guys played well? What was happening if we didn't play too well?" And all of that. And she always calls me and she tries to find out as much as she can. And that's what I appreciate. I mean, she's learning. She's even learning rugby now. She knows the players that I play with and all of that. She'll even also say, why didn't this guy play and all of that. So for me, that is special because she's I appreciate the effort she always puts in. And you can tell she's proud. Like even, every time I go home, like I know she's, all my jackets now, she's already taken them out of the bags. They're hers. And
Would you say when you go home you still wash dishes? Because I'm sure your mom doesn't consider you like a world champion. She just sees you as a son. And for many of us, when we go home, we still shout it at. We still have to wash the dishes. You still have to mow the lawn. Do you still do the chores when you're at home?
100%. I do. But they fall more to my siblings now because the things that I was like, obviously I'm the oldest, so I found a way out of it. Get home, the best thing you can do is just cook.
Okay.
And then if you cook, you're putting, washing the dishes and all of that.
So you're the chef in the household?
Fairly. I think I cook better than my little sister.
Okay.
She knows it. Obviously better than my little brother.
Okay. Favorite meal?
To make when I'm home?
Yes, sir.
Probably a good beef stew, rice with veggies.
Okay.
Yeah.
No salad?
Definitely no salad.
Let's talk about the Cheetahs. I think the Cheetahs are a team that in South African rugby history have done so well, but a team that are often forgotten. When you look at the big four teams at the moment, you'll always consider the Bulls, the Stormers, the Sharks, the Lions, and then only after talking about the big four do we talk about the Cheetahs. How special were the Cheetahs for you? And even looking at a coach like Rassie Erasmus, who started his coaching career with the Cheetahs, how important is that union for you as a player?
I think for me, like the Cheetahs were, they're probably like the rugby. They was, because I was still young as well. Like I didn't fully grasp like what you need to do. But one thing they taught me is to enjoy rugby, to like just express yourself, be expressive, work hard. And I think for me that was always the thing. I was happy off the field. They took care because of the environment. That sounds like how you have to enjoy rugby, how the coaches push that, how it's running rugby, you have to work hard, but you still have to be fit. You have to be fit to play for the Cheetahs. And I think for me that really inspired me and taught me a lot about obviously hey, sure, the most important thing is that are you happy, and actually being able to take care of yourself. And that was, I love the Free State. I love obviously the chance that I got there, and the rugby that I played there. I enjoyed every single moment.
Apparently, the biltong in the Free State is a little bit different than the rest of South Africa. Would you
Yeah.
say that the Free State has got the
No,
best biltong?
100%. By far. It's
What
probably
makes
like
it so special?
it's the spices that
The spices.
it's the spices that they use in the Free State and the
Yeah.
climate. I
Okay.
think, but everyone knows the real reason
Okay.
why, because it's very like it's the heritage of the Free State.
Yes.
Our strong thing is our steaks, our braais, our braai, and our
Branas.
biltong. You know how it is. Yeah.
I know the vibes. You spoke about the fact that the teachers taught you the ability to enjoy the game. I think so often for us as people who love sports and people who love rugby, we ask ourselves, like, what is Ox like off the field? And also, how do you take care of yourself when you are not playing rugby? Firstly, how do you take care of the mental side? Because I'm sure you often play in big moments and you have to be sharp in order for you to perform in those moments. But there's also a part of just taking care of the body, relaxing, seeing a physio, maybe going to the spa. How do you manage that side off the field to ensure that every single time we see Ox in a Springbok jersey, he's performing at his best?
Yeah, I think for me, like I said, like that's why, like with Dove, it's like pretty much what I believe in. When with like the Dove main plus K, it's the fact that like the most important thing is like when you look at K, it should be holistic, and like you said now, it's not just physical. You can eat, you can exercise, but essentially what makes you a great rugby player is the fact that you're able to take care of yourself fully. I mean, we're under pressure mentally because the whole world is looking at you. You have to represent your family and your friends, like everyone that cares about you. And as well, you also have to represent your name because you're gonna make a name for yourself. You're trying to inspire the kids that came out from the same background as you are, and you can't let them down. They can't even see you give up. And for me, so I say mentally, I have a great support system, family, and for things that I feel like they're more for me and my growth than I go to therapy for that, and that is the most important thing, like being able to speak to someone that has more knowledge than I do, because I mean, I could be feeling a certain way that I can't explain, but then when I explain how I'm feeling to someone else, or like a therapist, they could actually explain, like, you probably, that's how you're feeling, do you know what might have caused that? And I think that is the most important, getting to that, like a therapist that understands, and it's easy for them to diagnose a problem than you, or when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
And also having conversations about it with my friends. It's like, hey, dude, I'm feeling like this. Like, oh, dude, actually, I was also feeling like this the other day. I think this is what I did. I don't know, you might have a different solution, but you can find something similar. And the mental part of it is start having close people to actually talk to things about, because us men, we don't like the chats.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
So, and obviously then it comes the physical part of things, where you work as hard as you recover. It's that simple. Like there should be a balance there, because guys tend to punish their bodies and then don't take the rest, and that's where you get more prone to injuries and all of that. So if you have that balance, that I can work hard, but at the same time I can also be able to say, today I'm resting, I'm actually going for sport, I'm going to physio for whatever you feel like you need a rap or spa day. And I think that's the most important, is having like saying, being able to say, hey, I've done I've gotten to the goals that I wanted to get. Now it's time to actually focus on now taking care of myself, making sure that I'm rested, I'm well rested, and I'm ready to go for the next big challenge.
You spoke about being able to talk to your friends about the pressures of life. And I think, as a young man myself, we often don't talk at all, whether it's to your parents, whether it's to family, whether it's to friends. And I love the fact that you are one of the voices right now that are standing up to say that mental health is important. It is important for you to see a therapist if you need help. The one thing that I also love about your team is that it seems that you guys are phenomenal friends. You and Sia, you and Eben, it seems that you guys have got a very close bond. Do you guys, as friends, as brothers, often talk about the challenges and the pressures of being these global icons and dealing with that pressure?
Yeah, we definitely do. I mean, for mere fact that you don't even have like privacy, there's like always people haunting you, and like I get a lot of questions and like, don't you get tired of it? Like actually, it's like because like guys like Sia and Eben have been in the mix for so long, they used to it, and they tell me, like, imagine you one day, and you with your kid, you've retired, people have forgotten about you, and your kid looks up to someone, and he asked, can we please get a picture? And he said, you can go. And the guy says no.
Ish.
How would that make you feel?
Yo,
you understand?
very sad,
So
yeah.
it's one of those guys, like they say, dude, it's okay, like just don't get annoyed with them. You're gonna get rude people, and it's not, sometimes they're not just, it's just they're rude just because of how they're raised.
Yeah.
But they have the best intentions because they're just happy to see you, and some can't control themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, we speak about all of that, the pressures of, like, I mean, recently you saw Sia, the French talking about him, but like I did, we talk about it, we make, like, eventually it tends to become a joke because we know what Sia's about, we know him as a person, and I think that's the most important. Like with the Springboks is, we know each other fairly well. That's how we know how to communicate with each other and actually like express things to each other.
Ox, you have to take us into the locker room. Every locker room, at least the conversations that I've had with athletes, has a joker, has a party animal, and has that strict leader. But because it's the Springboks, probably there's the person who braais the best in the squad as well. Yeah. Number one, let's start with the joker. Who's the joker in the Springbok setup?
There's three major jokers.
Okay, you've got
there's
three.
100%. Number one, definitely Kwacha.
Okay.
2, Kobus Rena. 3, Faf.
Faf.
You know, like, if something, if something happened, it's done, and we don't know what it is, it's one of those three.
I mean, Faf was having a beer with the prince in his Speedo, so yeah, he's definitely
he's that guy,
the joker. The party animal? Who's the party animal? I thought you would actually give the party animal to Faf. Who's the party animal in the squad?
Explain party animal.
Like the guy who just gets the vibe going. Yeah. I mean, after you won the Rugby Championship recently, I mean, you had the trophy, you had beers flowing. Okay. I mean, there has to be that person that just takes the vibe to the next level.
It would probably be, it's just my opinion, I think Bongi.
Bongi Mbonambi.
Bongi Mbonambi.
What?
He's always a good time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sia, maybe? I thought you were also going to add Sia in there.
No, not like Bongi.
Not like Bongi?
No. Okay. Bongi Trevor.
Bongi Trevor Nyakane. Okay.
Yeah.
The strict leader, the person who's always keeping everyone in line. When everyone is being a little bit too wild, he's like, gents, let's focus.
Definitely to Eben and Poli.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Poli seems like ice cold, always focused.
Yeah, he can, like, I think he's a good leader because he can literally sense when guys are, like, even when we're practicing, we might not be making mistakes, but he can tell by the body language, like, hey boys, I feel like you guys are just going through the motions. You're not actually doing this with intent.
Sure.
Or even though you don't have to even get anything wrong, and he's a guy that can call it out. And same with Eben, he can get guys in a right mindset quickly. So, yeah.
In terms of braai, I know that you're a man from the Free State, a Flacio Pikuela. Who's the best man to handle the braai? Who's the braai master in the Springbok setup?
That's tough, eh?
Because I'm sure a lot of the lads can braai, but there has to be one who's just at the next level.
I think Thomas the Tank, du Toit.
Yes.
Because he's bad for us a lot at the Sharks.
Okay.
He probably makes the best braai. Best coffee as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you rank amongst these 4 positions? Because I thought maybe, you'll slot yourself in there, or you a little bit more quiet.
I know my place. Reserved. I'm more relaxed. If guys need cakes for the birthdays,
okay.
I'll let your boy. If you need suggestions.
You're the man with the cakes.
If you need suggestions for something sweet, then we can have a chat,
And the best bulldog, of course.
Free State, obvious. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I always have a plug in the Free State.
You always have a plug. Love it. Let's talk about the future for Ox Nche. We have to talk about some of the rumors that are out there, you know. We saw Siamtanda Kolisi leaving the Sharks, a team that you currently play for, going to France. Is that a possibility for you? We saw Kurtley Orense recently also signing a deal. He'll be playing some rugby in Japan. Are we keeping you in South Africa, or will we be seeing Ox play his club rugby in a different country?
To be honest, I love playing in South Africa. I enjoy playing at the Sharks. So I'm so happy. I haven't even thought about leaving. So for me, it's like I'm still enjoying my rugby. My mindset currently is that I'll probably be at the Sharks for a while.
Okay.
But obviously, I mean, you're not really in control of these things.
Yeah.
If they happen to be like, hey, bro, we're happy. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
And you just, we just work here.
Yeah. Talking about a squad that you definitely won't be leaving anytime soon is the Springboks. We know that Rassie Erasmus, after last year's Rugby World Cup, he mentioned that the next focus point is 2027 in Australia. And that's the big focus for a lot of the squad members. We've seen him bring in young players, bringing in some fresh blood, also keeping the experience within the squad. Your plans heading into the next cycle for the Rugby World Cup that will be in Australia, are we seeing you possibly win a second Rugby World Cup title with the Springboks?
Obviously, I mean, every team in there, you ask any player from any country, they don't go to a World Cup just to participate. They all definitely want to win, and I think that's the same. And for us, I mean, Coach Rassie was talking about this is actually the first full cycle, first full cycle of a 4-year leading into a World Cup that we might possibly have. Because, I mean, him and Jar came in 2018, 2019, then 2024, we were able, then COVID came through. And then we got lost 2 years, 1.5 years of rugby. And then obviously 2023. And then this year, from this year on, that's when he actually has a full 4 years to actually build squad team and achieve all the goals that we want to set as a group. And I think, obviously we're not trying to go to a World Cup just to participate. We definitely want to win. So yeah.
Okay. To wrap it up, I need to do the nation a favor. I was asked about it by a few ladies when Makazolo Mampimpi, didn't play.
I just
right?
work here.
He didn't play. And then I was asked about it on air. They were like, but Aaron, why didn't you tell us that Makazolo Mampimpi is off the market? Right? Yeah. So I'm going to ask you, just for all the ladies out there that are wondering, is Ox Nche...
I'm not married.
He's not married.
I'm not married.
Is he on the market?
I'm not married.
Is that where we're leaving it? You're not married.
I'm not married.
Yet.
Yes, absolutely.
End of year tour, we might hear some speculations. Ox is not playing.
I've heard a lot of speculations. I've heard a lot of speculations. Yes. At some point, I was dating a Polish model.
Hectic.
Exactly. So I was engaged to her even. So, I mean... Guys, if you don't see it on my timeline,
yes,
yeah, just don't question it. You'll see it. I'll make sure everyone stays in the loop.
Okay.
Yeah.
But with marriage, not single.
That's what I'm saying. You just look out for my profile picture. If it changes and you just see a white dress and a black suit,
yes,
and okay,
and you already have the colors.
Yeah.
Ox, my brother, thank you so much for being an absolutely phenomenal inspiration for young kids that want to pursue their dreams. And you've shown us that it's possible for you to be the best in the world. I've noticed, having interacted with you, that you are quiet, a little bit reserved. But when it comes to the rugby field, you are absolutely phenomenal. And thank you so much for that scrum against England. It meant a lot to this country. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. And we wish to see you at the 2027 Rugby World Cup in Australia.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, hope to be there as well.